So it's fair to say that with everything going on this year, we've been through a very different and surprising time in our life. The NBA, as you may know, has now installed a bubble for the teams to go on with the season, and that derailed a lot of players and team direction. Sure, we're simply playing basketball here, but for some people this might not be the priority. A lot of experts and critics had made predictions for this year's campaign, and well, it was hard to predict this. Today we are going to take a look at part 2 of the most surprising storyline of the 2020 season. If you haven't watched part 1, here it is. You can watch now or later, no problem with me, but make sure to show your support by liking the video to help us get in the weird YouTube algorithm, and let me know which team surprised you the most this year.
Call the first one savage, mold my mood, that's what it was.
Miami Heat success. When we heard that Butler was leaving the 76er after losing to the Raptors in 7 games to join the Miami Heat, most of us still didn't really had high hopes for the team. And now here we all are, stunned by the success of this team in the postseason. When Miami beat Giannis and the Bucks, a lot of people started thinking Giannis was overrated and it was time he left the Bucks or whatever. Everyone thought the Bucks were so bad that they almost got swept by the Heat, while in reality, Bucks weren't bad. The Heat was just that good. But how did this happen? How did a team who just a year ago didn't make the playoffs go to the finals with just signing Jimmy Butler, who is not really a franchise player? In my opinion, it's not just Jimmy Butler and Goran Dragic, who was a solid point guard for the Heat since 2015. It's the Miami Heat as an organization. Let's start with Pat Riley. When Dion Waiters was traded to the Heat in 2017, Pat Riley said this to him: "We're going to get you in world-class shape. Not in good shape, not in great shape, world-class shape." Waiters said that the team conditioning was insane, to the point where the players would start throwing up. We also have to take a look at some other key pieces that the Heat had polished, like Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo almost won the Most Improved Player award for the 2020 season, averaging 15, 10, and 5 assists a game. Adebayo became one of the best two-way bigs in the entire league and a second star the Heat needed to make this run. All that at just 23 years old. Tyler Hero has stunned everybody with the way he's been playing and got in great company as the second youngest player in history to score 35 points or more in a playoff game, dropping 37 points in the conference final, only behind the GOAT, D-Rose. Another sharpshooter the Heat have is Duncan Robinson. He's averaging over 13 points, 3 assists a game, and is shooting nearly 45% from 3. The Heat as a whole are a team who trust each other on the court and have high chemistry. I think that's the main reason they are in the finals right now. San Antonio struggles. The San Antonio Spurs started the 2019-20 season on a 3-game win streak, but soon after, struggles set in. The team suffered an 8-game losing streak and showed an inconsistency for most part of the season. They think their struggles are normal because they have some new and young player, but is that really the case? The Heat has a young player and they are in the finals right now. They almost take and make the least 3-pointers during the whole regular season. So how do you fix this? You probably want a better defense, but with the Spurs, this has been a problem as well. The Spurs' defensive rating is one of the worst in the league. For a franchise that made its living for a decade on the defensive end, it's been a disappointment. Another problem for the Spurs is that they are not forcing enough turnovers. San Antonio is forcing only 12.8 turnovers per game, which for a team that needs more possessions to reduce 3-pointers allowed is a problem. I think we can all agree that the main reason for these charts and result is the lack of reliable players. They lost Kawhi, Danny Green, and other great defensive players. The Spurs ended the 2019-2020 season with a 32-39 records, and for the first time in 23 seasons, they missed the playoff. Luka Doncic's MVP season. There were many people doubting Luka Doncic before the NBA despite his amazing performance in Europe. The critics were shut down quickly after an impressive rookie year playing for the Mavericks, as he averaged 21, 8, and 6 assists a game. He won the Rookie of the Year award over Trae Young. The next season, Luka continued where he left off, but now with additional help in Kristaps Porzingis. Luka was balling. At one point, he was in a conversation for the Most Improved Player of the Year and the MVP awards. He was notching triple-double after triple-double and 30-point game after 30-point game. This was just Luka's second year in the league, and he was in conversation with LeBron and Giannis for the MVP. Who could have predicted that? In the end, Mavs finished the regular season with a 43-32 record, going to his first playoff. Luka played like a veteran. He averaged 31, 9, and 8 assists per game in the 6 games. With Kristaps Porzingis out with an injury, he had to carry the Mavs by himself, but it wasn't enough as the Clippers closed it out in 6 games. Kawhi had big praise for Luka as he admired his determination and heart on the court. Raptors success. After the championship run in 2019, Kawhi decided to leave the Raptors, unfortunately. Many fans gave up on the Raptors after Kawhi's decision. But to everyone's surprise, the Raptors came back as strong as ever. Kyle Lowry stepped up and played on an all-star level, averaging 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 8 assists for the season. Then there's Fred VanVleet, who originally went undrafted but was playing amazingly in the finals and is getting better and better by the season. Pascal Siakam, another valuable piece for Toronto, predicted by many to be a future star in the league, as well as veteran Marc Gasol, Serge Ibaka, and young OG Anunoby. All of them mesh so well together and feed off of each other. Even though Kawhi left, they play as a team similar to the Heat. They finished the season second in the Eastern Conference with a 53-19 record. During the playoff, they easily got past the Nets and went to face the Celtics in the second round. Celtics were up 2-0 in the series. And in Game 3, Raptors were down 2 in the final second. Kyle Lowry threw an inbound pass to OG Anunoby, who made a miracle game winner.
Series on the line, Anunoby got it off and it goes! Did it count is the question! OG Anunoby buried
the Raptors showed heart once more as they won and managed to extend the series to 7 games. In the end, the Celtics' young talent proved to be too much this year as they closed Toronto up in the last game of the series. Yet, here we are. Their conference standing is the same as last year, and surprisingly to everyone in the NBA community, they actually had a better winning percentage at 73% to last year's 70% championship team with a superstar such as Kawhi. They're not always the most talented team in the sport, rather they get players who fit the bill for the role they're looking to fill. Nick Nurse, his assistants, and President Masai Ujiri know what they want and how they get what they need from their players. They're becoming a model organization. Derrick Rose comeback. I'm sure everyone by now knows the amazing story of Derrick Rose. When he has a huge night, Derrick Rose might be the only player in the league who makes basketball fans from around the world happy no matter what team they cheer on. The youngest MVP in history is doing his thing back on the floor after consecutive injuries, giving his work ethic and obsession with basketball. We should expect no less, but it still feels like a blessing that is well deserved. The game that marked his comeback was his 50-point performance in a career high versus the Jazz. I don't care who you root for or who's your favorite team or player, but you had to put respect on Derrick's name after this game. In the 2018-2019 season, Derrick Rose had a chance to come back to the league with the Minnesota Timberwolves to prove that he still had some games in him, and that's exactly what he did. But people were still questioning his level of play on long term. People were still doubting that Derrick Rose could have a great season again. But once again, he proved everyone wrong. After so many people downplaying him and saying he's washed and done, there's nothing greater than proving them all wrong and showing everyone just how much basketball means to him. In the 2020 season, Rose averaged 18 points, 5 assists for the Pistons and was the scoring leader on a consistent basis. I'm truly hoping that he gets out of Detroit and goes to a playoff team. He deserves to compete on the highest level again. What do you think about these topics? Do you agree or disagree, and why? I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like to help this channel get the recognition it deserves. I really hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace out.